Hey everyone, welcome to Ask Me Monday number 49. I'm Vicki Howell, and today's stream is sponsored by our friends at Makers Mercantile. They're a space for really fueling your creativity. You should check them out, makersmercantile.com. They've got loads of fabric and yarn and needles and tools and notions and gifts, and they're just really great people. So without further ado, we're going to be talking about a new tool, and you know how I love new tools. But this one for crafters is a power tool. So I'm pretty excited about it. All right, so needle felting. Lean in. Let's talk needle felting. All right, so often, I've shown needle felting actually on this stream before, just manual felting, but you've probably seen it, you've probably seen characters, you've probably seen, people use like shrink sweaters or knitting to felt, and then on top of it, decorate it, and you just take a little needle and you take roving and you punch it. Well, with the folks over at Addi, the same people that have done Addi Turbo needles, they like it speedy, they've come up with an actual little tool that is, as I said before, a power tool that has it go faster, which we do like, but also it gives you a little bit of ability to sculpt using it. So I'm going to be showing you how to use it, but let me show you an example of something that's been done. My friend Rhonda from over there made this bag, and this is just on linen, because a lot of people think that you can only needle felt on other felt or yarn, but look at the dimension in that. This tool really helps if you want a lot of dimensional stuff, type appliques, and you can just add as you go. Hi everyone. Oh yes, happy Halloween. Happy Halloween. Most of you are watching. I know it's Halloween, so I swear I do. See, I've even got my leggings on. I just got all caught up in this tool thing. So yes, happy Halloween, everyone that are in the States, or actually they're starting to celebrate it a little bit more in the UK now, which is exciting, or wherever you are. Okay, so that's a bag. You can do all kinds of things. I was playing around with it, and because it's Halloween, I had a little cookie cutter, like for a coffin, and I made this little coffin guy that I could either punch a hole in and then use it as an ornament, but I think it would be really cute and like a little scape with like a haunted house and some fake grass and all kinds of stuff. So super fun. You could do that with any, I've got all these little like Halloween Frankenstein or Frankenstein. If you're watching Young Frankenstein, we watched that last night, so it's in my head. Or a little cat. I mean, you could use the cat year round, especially if you happen to be the parent of my daughter Clover, who's obsessed with cats, but you're not, so the likelihood of that is low. You can do all kinds of stuff, ornaments. You can make little felted balls. These ones I actually hand felted, but you can make this type of thing. But really any sort of art piece, and you can do beautiful, I've seen beautiful animals sculpted out of it. The more that you work with it, obviously the better you're going to get with it. So I'm going to be showing you how, but first let's talk supplies. Okay, so at Makers, for us, they are giving with the purchase of this tool, excuse me, with the purchase of the AddiQuick tool, they are giving $50 worth of roving. I had almonds right before and they're all going hayride. Okay, so you look at the pretty roving. I'm going to take a sip. Okay, so for free, you can see all kinds of gorgeous roving. They're going to offer to you for free $50 worth when you buy the tool. So you just have to go to makersmercantile.com. You're going to get all kinds of stuff. And this is what we're talking about roving. They've got it all packaged adorably and everything. You can also use yarn with this tool as well. Wool yarn works best. Nobody needs to look like this. Oh, live. Okay, so what we're going to be doing is I'm going to show you how to make an ornament. Because most of the people that watch this probably will not watch on Halloween, I'm going to move holidays over and we're going to talk lollipops. This would be really cute for a birthday party or as a Christmas tree ornament. You can poke a hole on it. This does not take, so I talked a little bit about cookie cutters, using this as your guide. This is just done free form, and I'm going to show you how to do this in a second. Super easy. And then I'll talk a little bit about how you would use the cookie cutters. So what I will be doing is I'm going to do that famous flip. This is going to get a little bit loud for a second. So But we're going to do this, and we're going to start with our step one. Let's see, how about we make my favorite color, turquoise. Why don't we make a lollipop out of this? And you just want to get a nice long strip. And it doesn't matter really how much because it's super easy. All right, I am going to go ahead and flip this around. Yes, tying them on a package, Rose, that would be super cute. Okay, I'm going to do the flip. This is where you're high up close and now you need to have one of these foam mats. This is just like upholstery foam that you can get at any craft store. Anything, you just don't want the needle to be obviously go into your surface. It would break the needle and probably scratch your table. So then what we want is to create a little spiral circle. Move that out of the way. Let's give you something pretty to look at in the corner. Much better. All right, so we're going to start. Make sure you guys can see. Just doing like a little bit of a spiral like a lollipop would have. Just the very beginnings of it, okay? And then I'm going to turn on my tool. And you can see like it's crazy fast, like you can't even see it. And then you just work over it. Now, mind your fingers. Trust me when I tell you, it does not feel good when you nick yourself. This is definitely not something for little kids to play with. Okay, and you can see how it's already felting into place. And then you can just keep spiraling around. Now, if you've ever needle felted before, probably your instinct is to do this. You don't need to do that, and honestly, you're more likely to catch your finger if you do that. You just need to move it over. It's really, really sculptural feeling. It almost feels like you're working with clay, or even if you were, almost like you were whittling wood. And you would just keep going around. And you would go over and over and over it until it's how you like. And I want to show you what happens when you have to add more though. Let's say our piece wasn't long enough. Okay, this piece is all crazy, right? No problem. Just going to pull it in. The cost is $149, and somebody's eating. Jenny's asking how much it costs. $149 plus you're getting the $50 worth of roving for free, so it's a $200 value for $149. Okay, so as we move along, let's say we need to add more. All we do is we get our piece. Just put it right on top and then meld it together. Okay, so eventually we'd keep doing this and we'd get something that looked like this. Okay, you can see. And what I did for this piece, because why not, is I felted this way because I really want, ooh, I just got my finger, there you go. Because you really want to make sure that, or actually you don't want to make sure. I did it in a circle because I really wanted the spirals to stand out. And the other cool thing is, once you pick it up, like this is what the back looks like, so you'll also work on the back. But you can also move it, like pick up your piece to the side and felt the sides. So what's cool about this is when it gets thicker, again, watch your fingers, when it gets thicker, you can really sculpt that. On this piece, on my little coffin that I did, I went around all the sides and really felted the sides because I wanted them to be nice and firm to give that coffin look, right? That coffin look, how many times does that come out of my mouth? Never. All right, so you continue. Oh, that got quiet. So you continue this way. But then our lollipop has a little flair to it, right? It's got a little colored bonus to it. So I'm going to grab some more fiber. And I'm going to start. Rebecca says she's never even heard of this. Well, it's a new tool. We're introducing it. So you just start laying the little pieces. Take it slow. Again, watch your finger. You get another frame. And you just slowly felt it around. And you would just continue until you were done with that, when you had your spiral exactly like this. And then you would just take a sharp needle or some kind of awl or whatever. Now, you'd want to make sure it was thick enough. I don't think that this one is quite thick enough, so I would probably keep adding more felt on the top. Karen's asking if it's rechargeable. No, it's electric. It's plugged in right now. It's not cordless. Okay, so you would just kind of dig your needle in, and then from there you would take a popsicle or a lollipop stick and you would stick it in. I would, as always, hot glue it for measure, and then you can tie a little bow on. It's super simple as that. So that's that. So that's a lollipop. Super cute, easy. Would be really cute as also as like a name tag if you were having a holiday dinner. Everybody's names could be on them, and then it could be a little keepsake. As I said yesterday, I was playing around with cookie cutters, and I remembered I had this one, because I'm a knitter. So sweaters, obviously. So I need to get a little better at it, but I made this ornament, and it's kind of cute. Look, I put a little like doll hanger on the back. I want to experiment a little bit. I'd like to try embroidering on top of it, and doing some I think it would be really cute to embroider a traditional Swedish snowflake or something on these. But these are so cute. These are so cute. All right, so super easy, super fun. Great for, yes, Rebecca's saying for holiday gifts, especially places that don't allow food and stuff. That's a big thing right now because of allergies. A lot of fun stuff. Let me just show you really quickly what I mean by working with cookie cutters. So for this coffin one, all I did, oh yeah, Melissa said it could be a football jersey too. I'm not so much the sporty spice, so I wouldn't have even thought of that, but that's a brilliant idea. Okay, so this is one of those things that maybe you can get yourself as an early Christmas gift, because you can make all kinds of cool stuff for the holidays with it. So I just started loading it in. And then I would just work for a long time. Not a long time, certainly not as long as if I were manually. And you want to be careful around the sides, because obviously the metal could ricochet a little bit. And you would just keep working and working and working. The cool thing about this, though, is once it's felted, if you're not getting exactly like the lines that you want, and I did this with this sweater, once it's felted, if they're not even, you can cut it. You can cut it so it can be exactly the shape you want, which is so awesome. So you've created this felt fabric, so then you can turn it into anything you want with just some scissors. All right. So that was that. So super fun. So once again, it's this, makersmercantile.com. Special deal, I think just goes through the week, where they're going to give you that $50 worth of roving with the tool. So go ahead and get on over there. And then make sure that you tag us at Makers Mercantile, at Vicki Howell, if you end up using it and making anything with it. Okay, I wanted to get to one of the questions. Well, it was one question from two separate people on the boards about weaving in ends for bulky yarn. So right now, big knits are in, right? Everybody is using, really thick, chunky yarn. I was using this. I just taught a class recently and did a demo with this macro. I have this new chunky yarn out, or the color collection through Valley Yarns out. it's on trend and we're seeing a lot of it. But the question is, a lot of people are having a little bit of difficulty weaving in the ends without them looking all crazy like. So I wanted to talk about a couple solutions for that. So if you're working with, what did I do with it? I don't know. I'll just grab this. Okay. If you're working with a plied yarn like this, and plies just mean you can tell, see how you can see that there's more than one strand together. That's what a ply is. If you're working with a plied yarn, then you can always, like if this is your end, on the back of your work, unply it a little bit. And then, I don't know if this particular needle is big enough, but we'll see. Probably need a bigger eyed needle. But then what you would do is you would just thread the needle with half of the, there we go, with half the plies, weave it in, then you would take the other plies and weave it in the other way. And that will, that'll really minimize any bulking that happens sometimes with chunky yarn. Another thing that you can do is just, if you're working with a roving yarn, like I was just talking about, so there aren't plies, there's a couple things that you can do. You can just weave them in as normal and then make sure that you give them a little tug out so that the yarn will settle in to each other. Actually, I always recommend that you do that when you weave in ends. Or you can take a coordinating needle and thread. This is not quite the right, I wanted you to be able to see the stitches, so it's a couple shades lighter, but then just do a few stitches. I would only recommend going to these measures if you were making a garment that was going to get wear and tear. It's probably not necessary for a scarf. But you can do that. Or, I'm about to blow your mind here, what I discovered this morning is if you weave in your ends, this came out, so I'm just going to do it with my fingers. I'm going to put it through the back, and I'm going to turn the camera again. I thought, since I have it, because I always like to know what else tools can do besides what they're supposed to do before I invest in something. I like to see how many things it'll work with. So what I discovered this morning is that with bulky roving yarns, or it doesn't even have to be any weight, if you just give it a couple pass-throughs, you don't want to go crazy because you don't want to change the integrity of the piece. Look, it melds it right in. And there you go. So the tool also works for that, for ends for really bulky rows. So that was a little happy surprise this morning when I figured that one out. So super useful tool. All right, man, we covered a lot in a little bit of time, so that was good. Just a couple other like community corkboardy type of things. If you haven't listened, Craftish is back. We took a few weeks off while we were working on some other stuff. And the latest episode is with Lena Skvargason, and she is the lead designer for Annie's signature collection. So check that out. That's on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, or through my website, VickiHowell.com. Also, and I'm going to be talking about this probably ad nauseum for the next little bit, so brace yourselves. I am the guest editor of the latest issue of Crochet Scene, and it's just out now. I had such a blast. I got to be a part of every aspect of the magazine, and I'm really proud of how it turned out, and I'm excited to share as much as I can with you over the coming weeks with it. It's available on the Interweave store website right now for both digital and print, and should be in craft and bookstores within the next couple of weeks. So grab it, love it, tell people if you like it. Keep it to yourself if you don't. But if you don't already follow me on Instagram, I'm sharing all kinds of stuff over there. So check that out. It was a really great experience working with the Interweave folks and getting to edit a magazine before. I had not done that. I've written columns for years, but never actually been a part of the whole like conception to fruition process. So that was pretty amazing. So thanks to all of them. Lastly, Vogue Knitting Live is next weekend in Minneapolis. If you are going to be there on either Friday or Saturday in the sort of like general lunchtime area, please stop on by. I'm going to have a table there sponsored by Webb's Yarn Store with needles provided by Clover. And we're going to be providing my color collection of Valley Yarn Super Wash Super Bulky. And we're going to be making chunky headbands that can be made right there within 20 minutes. It's Minnesota, it's fall, It's probably cold, so we're going to make a little something. I'm going to send you home with a treat for free and let you try out the new yarn, and hopefully you dig it. So that's around like 11, 12 o'clock, depending on the day, on either Friday, Saturday. I'll also be there signing We Garter Stitch books. So come by, say hi if you're going to be there. All right, I now need to go over to the Darren Moore's Facebook page to do a intro to circular needles, little live video for them now. So if you're in the UK, hopping over there. Actually, thank you. We had a little thing I got to call at the same time. Everyone else, thank you so much for tuning in. I will post the winners of last week's Clover contest on that thread by the end of the day today. Thanks for participating and have a great creative week. Bye.